In this video, we'll look at the pros and cons of living in a condo, as well as if condos appreciate in value and what you need to know when living here. That's starting right now.
Welcome to Home Buyers School, brought to you by Brookfield Residential.
Hi everyone, I'm Carl. Welcome to another Home Buyer School video, a channel where you get the latest strategies, tactics, and tips from home buying experts. And remember, if this is your first time on this channel and when you get the latest strategies from the experts, hit the subscription button below, hit the little notification bell so you don't miss anything. So today I'm joined by Karen McDonald, Community Manager with Brookfield Residential. And what we're gonna talk about today is the pros and cons of living in a condo. So Karen, what are some, I guess, let's start off with some pros. What are some pros in terms of living in a condo?
Well, you would have your maintenance-free lifestyle, of course, and single-level living.
But when you say maintenance-free, obviously you don't maintain, but there is a price for that.
Of course, right? Yeah. Right. With anything that's maintenance-free, you would pay condo fees. And in that, depending on what type of building you live in, it would be, you know, your landscaping, all of the snow removal, maintenance fees, reserve fund in the building. It could include some common utilities as well too. If you're in a condo, that's pretty typical. It could include some fees if you have amenities in the building as well too. So, so any number of those things would be included in your condo fees.
Okay. No, so let's keep on the track with some pros. So obviously maintenance-free living.
Yes. Yeah, single level living for apartment style living as well too. If you're looking for a townhome, a lot of them have attached garages. So having that attached garage parking, and the lock and leave aspect of everything, just being able to travel and know that you're secure, your home is secure, and that not open to, you know, people knowing you're away with the lawn overgrowing or mail piling up, anything like that.
So how about the cons?
Well, the cons would be, again, very personal, but it is multifamily living. You're attached to other people. And so living with other people could cause some issues. Depending on the type of building, sound attenuation could be something that you'll have to deal with and consider when you're buying. So knowing if you're in an apartment, are you on the top floor? So you only have people below you and maybe to the sides. Townhomes, whether you interior home, you have two people on the sides. And really knowing how it's built. So knowing how construction is, what kind of materials are best used for reducing that sound transfer between homes. And I guess the biggest thing is, what is your level of acceptance of noise? There's a lot of people, because in any kind of multifamily home, even if you're in a single family home and they're, you know, zero lot lines, they're very small distance apart, you'd probably hear your neighbor in a single family home. But considering that you're attached and you have shared walls, there's going to be some sound transfer, regardless.
I remember when I was renting, yes, that was the case, because I was, I don't know, playing, I don't know, video games or whatever too loud, and my neighbor would always come by and be like, hey, can you turn it down?
Yeah, cut it out. Yeah. And I think that that's what you have to determine as well too. If you live like a mouse and you're very quiet, you like absolute silence, you're going to want to take into consideration where that home is, say within a condo. Is it on the top floor? Probably best. So you have the least amount of neighbors possible. Just the same as in a townhome. Could be an end home.
Well, from a sound perspective, what are some, like, if you don't like that much noise, you're saying the top floor, because I think the only person that you probably hear is the people on the bottom.
Yeah,
right?
likely. Yeah. And probably there's a lot more of the impact noise, the stomping that you would hear.
Got it.
In any kind of building as well too, because that deep bass kind of is harder to kind of build against. And I'm talking, it's not just wood buildings, it's also concrete buildings. Concrete's porous. It can travel through. Yeah. You know, sound can do that. So I think it's just determining your level of acceptance of that and what you're willing to accept. Now, considering that it's not always going to be the case, because a lot of builders take that into consideration. They're going to choose the best type of flooring that's good for any kind of reverberating sound. They're going to choose the best kind of insulation in between homes as well too. So they're going to do their best to reduce that. sound transfer, but it is a factor. It will happen. Whether it's somebody that's banging on their walls, maybe hanging pictures, somebody that's playing video games forever and has like it cranked up. That might be an issue as well too. So take that into consideration, that there will be some sound transfer, hopefully very little.
How would you be able to research some of those? So whether it's sound, whether it's position, whether it's where you want to be in, or whether, you know, if you like the east or the west or the sun coming in at a certain direction. Is there any way you can do a little bit of research on your part before you actually make that decision to purchase? Yeah,
well, the internet's, you know, like it's filled with all sorts of information that you can research on your own to know what kind of, so when you're talking to a builder, you can say, well, is this vinyl plank flooring or is it laminate flooring? Is it hardwood? Hardwood has a high reverberation. Same with laminate. You're going to hear that echo, right? So that's why a lot of the times vinyl plank is used, because it's better for sound attenuation. It has some underlay in it as well too. So, I mean, doing your research, knowing what they're building with and how that's going to affect the noise, there's ample information for you to look up.
I think one of the pros and cons that we also want to touch on, I guess, is the ability to customize. So if you're the type of person who doesn't really want to customize very much, right? You lock it and leave it kind of thing. I think a condo would be perfect. That would be a pro for you, but it could also be a con for somebody who's like, well, I want to take this wall out, or I want to add this room, or anything like that, right?
Yeah, and a lot of the times within condos, townhomes, we have to stick to this framework. You know, within this square box, this is what we can do with it. Now, some builders they can move things around. A lot of times in big buildings, you have, you know, support structure that needs to stay in place. So that's why builders come up with a number of different floor plans that will hopefully suit what you're looking for, so that you don't have to do a lot of moving around of walls or anything. Some builders are a lot more agreeable to moving walls and doing that kind of thing, but there are some restrictions. It's not like a custom single family home where you can kind of move things around just as you want to, because you're attached to other people again, so that has to affect other people, and safety structure is first and foremost.
Perfect. Do you have anything else to add in terms of pros and cons of living in a condo?
I think it's really, again, it's where you're at in life. Where are you living right now? Are you renting? You need to get out and move into something that's your own, or you don't need as much space in your single family home. It's such a personal decision. Just know what you're able to compromise on. And it may not be that much even. You may find something that's exactly what you're looking for. But barring, you know, endless, you know, budget and money, you have the world to work with. There'll be some compromise. Just be willing to factor that in as well too.
Great. Well, the question of the day I have for you is, do you live in a condo, and why? What are some of the pros and cons that you found? Let us know in the comment section below. So if you want to know more about living in a condo and actually buying a condo, check out our video playlist here, as well as our playlist on all the things that you need to know about condo fees. Check them out here. And don't forget to subscribe to keep learning from the experts. I'll see you in our next video.